Alright guys, welcome back. Got a very good monkey branching story to share with all of you today. And it is a perfect example of why betrayal is always a premeditated choice. It is a decision that your partner made to line up their replacement behind your back. So if you're on the fence and you think it's an accident, that they made a mistake, that they didn't know what they were doing, watching this video is going to make you reconsider that point of view. His story is very, very interesting. So I'm going to read through his entire email. We're going to see all of the red flags that he's laid out, some of the mistakes that he made, and ultimately what she ended up doing to him. You can always learn from other people's mistakes and then apply it to your life so that you can make better choices in your relationships. And as I say all the time, men, you're responsible for the quality of woman that you choose. So let's keep his identity private. We're going to refer to him as Jimmy, and we're going to refer to his now ex as Anna. So Jimmy writes in and he says, "Hey Christian, here is my monkey branching story. We were together for 4 years and 3 months. At the beginning of the relationship, there were plenty of red flags that I chose to ignore. That's the key here. I chose to ignore. Number 1, she ended up asking me to be her boyfriend after knowing me for 2 days. So she's bypassed the entire process of dating him, getting to know him. She doesn't feel safe and comfortable. She hasn't built an emotional attachment. But that's all right. She's going to get into a relationship right away. That's indicative of serious character flaw, personality defects, whether it's narcissism. Definitely what I'm seeing here is a woman that is severely emotionally damaged. She clearly does not have the ability to form healthy or stable emotional attachments, and at the very least isn't even interested in attempting to build one in the first place. Because if she's willing to rush into a relationship in 2 days, when it takes about 1.5 to 2.5 months for a woman to feel safe and comfortable and to truly have built an emotional attachment with a man, what I'm seeing here is a woman that doesn't really want a relationship, even though she's saying that. She doesn't want that relationship out of genuine motives to actually build something worthwhile with him, get to know him. This is a girl that is rushing the dating process to lock him down because she wants to use him, whether it's for attention, whether it's for financial reasons, or just to simulate a level of emotional safety in her life. Something fishy is going on, because genuine women with good intentions will want to take the time to get to know you, not rush in 2 days. Number 2, she always told me there were family issues, problems with her parents, and her brother was going through some mental health issues. Number 3, she said she loved me about a week into the relationship. Isn't that sweet? Guys, love is an emotion that takes not just months, but if we're being real here, it takes years to develop. Until you spent enough time around a woman, mutually, where you've both gone through the ups and downs, the highs and lows. You've seen each other at your worst and at your best. She's seen you on a good day. She's seen you when you're upset, when you're going through financial difficulties, emotional difficulties, problems in your personal life. You guys have communication issues, and you come out of that limerence. Only after going through all of that can you truly say you love someone. In a couple of weeks, even in a couple of months, you don't know someone because they're presenting their best self. Until you've seen their flaws, their weaknesses, what they're like in every area of their life, you can't say you love them. So within a week, she's telling him she loves him. She's projecting her own level of interest. She's in limerence. He said, I knew we were in the limerence phase and that she was mistaking love for limerence. Absolutely. And number 4, she would brag about things from her past that I later found out were lies. So ignore the fact that she's a liar, rushes into relationships, and has bad family relationships. So these are just some of the main red flags that he's outlined. Continuing on. When we met, she mentioned she was adopted and didn't know her birth parents. As for her adopted parents, she always mentioned her dad was abusive towards her. Getting off to a great start. I'm not sure if this was physical or emotional. Their dynamic seemed normal to me. Well, if she's telling you that her father's abusive and you can't see it, well, that's because it's not going to happen in the public eye when a stranger is there. It will happen in a private setting, unfortunately. Every time I met him, he seemed like a cool lad. The mum was controlling over her every action, but was also very supportive of her. That's quite contradictory. Somewhat hand-holding her through her teens, early adulthood. When you see parents mollycoddle their kids and they're extremely controlling, it tends to cause children during their teenage and early adulthood to rebel and end up becoming and doing the opposite of what their parents were trying to stop them from doing. The parents got divorced in late 2019, and based on what I heard, it was messy towards the end. She mentioned they would argue a lot and the father neglected her, but the mum was always there for her whenever she needed and continued to be there for her. So remember, men, the second red flag he said is that they always had family issues. Well, clearly, from what he said here, Jimmy mentioned that his ex Anna had told him that the father was abusive to her, and clearly the parents had their own problems because it ended in a divorce. Now, why is this important to consider when you get into a relationship with a woman? Because women that grow up in a stable, functional home where they have their basic needs met by mum and dad and have formed stable emotional connections with mum and dad will be able to form a stable connection and pair bond with you. Now, if a woman grows up in a dysfunctional home where there's no love, there's neglect, there's abuse, there's dysfunction, there's hurt, there's divorce, this can cause a rupture in her ability to form healthy attachments, to have stable relationships, if left unhealed, of course. Which is why when you meet a woman, you always want to vet her and ask about her background. Something like this can screw someone up for a long time, and it's what we call childhood trauma. They can carry out these problems into their adulthood and every other area in their life, their friendships, their relationships with you. So you want to consider this. If you meet a girl and she tells you she came from a screwed up background, but she's healed from it, she's done the work on herself, that's okay. But if she makes no mention that she's done any progress, then you can be sure to expect that she ain't going to change. And there's a very high chance that she will emulate the behavior she learned in her childhood. Because in this case, she's mentioning that her dad is abusive. Well, what is important for a girl growing up? She needs to have a strong father figure. And if the father's not there, at the very least, she should have, whether it's an uncle, a stepfather, a grandfather, older brothers, an older cousin. Okay? That is important because a woman needs a strong male role model that gives her the blueprints of what she should look for in a man. When she has a good male role model in her life, a good father figure, she learns to trust in men. Okay? To feel safe and comfortable around men. A good father figure is going to discipline her, give her direction in life, tell her how to dress, how to behave, to value her purity, to be a good woman. He's going to love her. He's going to protect her. He's going to make her feel heard and understood. She will form a stable connection with him. So now she learns how to respect in men and trust in men. That is why it's so important. And again, if she didn't get that from her dad, stepdad, uncle, grandfather, it's very important. Even God, just reading a Bible, becoming close to the Lord, that can help her. But on the flip side, if a woman doesn't have that very necessary stability that she needs to build that blueprint of how to interact and be around men, knowing what to choose in a man. If she doesn't have that, she's going to struggle. There's a very high chance that if left unhealed, she's not going to be relationship material. That's why it's so important to understand. Carrying on with the email. She always sent very long texts that were very sweet. Us against the world, ride or die, and you're the greatest boyfriend ever type of texts. Well, this is coming from the same girl that rushed into a relationship within 2 days, and within 1 week she's telling you that she loves you. So everything she's saying is coming from a limerent place of view, not from a point of love. She always wanted to spend time with me, and every time we were both free, she expected us to hang out. But I always enjoyed my free time. Well, that's at least good. That is a good indication, right? She wants to spend time with you, and obviously you are mature enough to have your own life outside of her. You give her that time and space to miss you. That's good. But again, this is still the same woman that rushed into a relationship. So she was never with you for genuine reasons from the very beginning. So everything she says, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt. Towards the beginning, we spent a lot of the time at her house. And later we spent more time at my place. We lived in separate houses, each with our families. And after a couple of years being together, I didn't feel the need to move in together since she was younger than me. She's 23 and I'm 31, getting into that age gap. And I was more financially ready and secure than her. She was working minimum wage, part-time retail jobs, and I had a college degree and a good paying job. Well, you did the right thing by not moving in with her, because realistically, you should not move in or plan on moving in with a woman unless you're getting engaged or you're getting married right away, which is a decision you should make after at least minimum of 3 to 4 years of dating, because limerence will last anywhere between 2 to 3 years. Okay, so by you giving yourself 2 to 3, 4 years of continuously dating that girl, once you come out of limerence and you start to see her for who she is, if you accept her, she accepts you, you both have mutual compatibility and chemistry, you're masculine, she's feminine, and you both have enough self-awareness to work through all of your, whether it's communication issues or anything that shows up in the relationship, and she shows maturity, she's supportive and continuously shows you that she's faithful, then yes, after 3 to 4 years, you can propose, you can choose to marry her if she presents herself as a good woman, and at that point, she will actually appreciate moving in and living with you because she feels like she's earned it. You didn't just give it away for free. And obviously when you date, you did it the right way. You spend a little bit of time at her place, and then she spends some time at, the opposite. That way there's a healthy balance, but by not rushing in and moving in together, you won't feel pressured into marrying for the wrong reasons. Or you won't get relaxed and get off the contraceptives and accidentally get her pregnant and then feel pressured to marry her. So that's why it's so important to not move in right away, which you did the right thing, and that probably saved you a lot of stress. Over the years, we established a great bond. I'm sure you did. Did she really though? Because remember how it started. She rushes in to be with you, she's going to rush out to leave you. The moment her needs aren't met, due to the dysfunctional background she grew up in, which is left unhealed, by the way, which is going to affect her self-worth, her ability to connect with you, to communicate openly, to trust in you, that's eventually going to come out sooner or later. Because a woman like that locks you down right away without properly getting to know you, guess what? She will settle for you. She will always be with you for selfish, unilateral motives. Never genuine, never to build a family with you, never because she actually wants to get to know you and love you. And eventually this is going to come out. So you saying we established a great bond, those are your feelings, because you're a mentally and emotionally stable man. But is she an emotionally, mentally stable woman? Let's find out. We really enjoyed each other's company. We were always joking with each other and laughing and having a great time. Those were actually good signs. At this point, I really started to fall in love with her. I mean, let's just go on down. We had many similar interests. We both loved the outdoors, going hiking, riding mountain bikes, going to the beach, playing soccer, well, we call it football here in Europe, and tossing the football. Again, we call it football here. What you guys will call, what we call American football, which is just basic football for you guys. We didn't go out too much, and we enjoyed spending time together at home. So just reading this, without you having told me anything about the red flags, Jimmy, it sounds like just a normal couple that have compatibility, at least in terms of lifestyle and shared interests, which is a good thing. We both agreed we did not want children, and I told her I didn't want to get married at this stage of my life. Another sign of compatibility. You both don't want kids. I mean, that's actually a good thing if you both agree on that, because you can't compromise. If, let's say, you're watching these guys and you're with a girl and she wants 2 kids, 3 kids, and you want 0, how can you compromise? What, do you have 1.5? No, it's a deal breaker. You're incompatible. You're better off being with a woman who doesn't want kids, and she's better off with being with someone who wants 2 to 3 kids. Pretty simple. So again, reading through this without knowing about the red flags that he mentioned at the beginning, you would think, oh, this is great. It sounds like a normal couple that have everything down right. So he said, I did not want to get married at this stage of my life. I was focused on my career, and I saved a lot of money. And she would spend her money as soon as she had a payday, which showed me she wasn't responsible. Smart man. You want to marry a woman that's going to be an asset to your life and add value, not be a liability that takes from it. You want a woman that's mature. So yeah, again, something else that saved you from getting her pregnant, going through divorce, was not marrying her, not moving in. From the beginning of the relationship, she always said, I love you. I would never hurt you, and I would never leave you. Stupidly, I believed her, hence why this breakup was so shocking and hard. Well, from the beginning of the relationship, you mean in 2 days, when she asked you to be her boyfriend. No, she's built no emotional attachment with you. There's no connection. It's based on nothing. You're strangers. This woman does not value herself. She's got no standards for herself. And she's saying, I love you, I would never hurt you, and I would never leave you. And I've seen enough monkey branching stories, and I think when I get to it, for you guys watching, you're going to say this is disgusting what she did to me. This is truly evil. But she's the same woman that's saying, I love you, I will never hurt you, and I will never leave you. I took her on 2 all-expensive paid vacations to the Swiss Alps in Switzerland to visit my family, and I also took her on trips to New Jersey, New York, and Massachusetts. Things were seemingly going great. So you're taking very good care of her. You know, you've been with her for a few years, you're spoiling her. Okay, great. You know, if up until that point she's showing you that she's a good woman and that she's genuine, and as long as she's giving in the relationship, then as a man you should also be giving back. Because again, that's what love is all about. So now we get into the monkey branching. After 4 years and 2 months, she got into a car accident. That's when everything changed. The guy who towed her car away is the guy she is with now. I'm going to repeat that one more time. The guy who towed her car away is the guy she is with now. We're going to stop it right there and break this down before I continue on with the rest of the email. You see what I'm saying now? Cheating is not an accident. That's as premeditated as it gets. She's with him for 4 years. She has a car accident. And she lines up a replacement. The guy she cheats on him with is the guy who towed her car away. Look, I've done different monkey branching stories on the channel to educate all of you. What do you typically see when somebody betrays their partner? They line up a male friend. They line up a co-worker, someone they know. No. She couldn't even do that. Well, I mean, that's still disgusting in of itself. But in this case, she got into a car accident. So let me get this straight. You get hit by a car. You nearly died. You could have lost your life. And the first thing that goes through your mind is, this guy over here looks nice. I guess I'm going to exchange contact info and start cheating on my boyfriend. How twisted do you have to be? Can you guys see that? She got into a car accident. People that report having been through a traumatic event where they could have lost their life, such as a car accident, what do they say once they recover? They appreciate life a little bit more. When you come so close to dying, you value living. So what would be the appropriate response for someone who's been through such a terrible accident and lucky to survive and be okay? You're going to appreciate your loved ones, your friends and your family. You're going to take life seriously, right? After going through an accident, you would want to reach out to your parents, siblings if you have any. If you are in a relationship such as this woman at the time, Anna, she would have wanted to, if she was a healthy woman, be close to her boyfriend and appreciate him and hold on to him, because she could have died and never seen him again. Oh, no, but she didn't want to do that. Instead, she figured, hey, this guy's towing my car away. He's a good replacement. So literally, she waited until something terrible like this would happen that would spark her decision to line up a replacement. Obviously, she was planning on doing it for a long time, but this is just the way she decided to plan it out. It all came together for her. She didn't have to go out of her way and line up a co-worker or cheat with some guy that was a friend, because they don't exist. No. She got hit by a car. The guy who tows the car away was enough for her to go, well, he's cute enough. I'll take him. Isn't that just evil? There you have it. But what was it that she said to him? Let me read it one more time. From the beginning of the relationship, she always said, I love you, I would never hurt you, and I would never leave you. Well, she hit 3 in 1 on that one, didn't she? And it all goes back to the red flags that he ignored. You could prevent all of this if you properly vet a woman when you meet her. You study her background, you ask quality questions, you make sure she's up to your standards. I've got no words on that. That's just disgusting. And any of you guys that go, well, I know she cheated on me and I can give her another chance. Are you sure? Is that really what you want to do? You want to give somebody a chance that betrayed your trust? So your woman goes off with another guy, allows him to be inside of her, and you want to give her another shot? Where's your self-respect? Carrying on with the email. Once I heard she was friends with this guy and all of his friends. Oh, so that's sweet. Not only is she, building an emotional attachment with him, but she's also friends with his friends too, which I'm sure are guys. That's sweet. So once I heard she was friends with this guy and all of his friends, I pulled back in the relationship and I began distancing myself from her. I never communicated I wasn't happy with her hanging out with all these guys. But I feel like it goes without saying, girlfriend shouldn't do this. Now, here's where I would say you made a mistake. Part of being masculine, the way us men communicate, we are direct, we are straightforward, we are right to the point. Women will use more passive, covert communication. Men are more overt. It's out there. It pierces you. It gets right to the point. And women know masculine men are straightforward with them. They're not afraid if she gets upset or if she loses interest. Because when you stand up for yourself, you do it for your self-respect. You're not doing it to raise her interest or because you're afraid to lose her. You have to be strong enough to say what you mean and mean what you say. If something bothers you and you don't say it, women are going to see that in your body language. You can't fake it. Women are emotional beings and they're intuitive. Confident men, when they want to say something, it's going to come out. And she can see if you're closed off, if you make yourself smaller, if you lower your voice, you don't make eye contact, she can feel you're not being open with her, right? There's something you want to say, but you don't have the strength to do it. She's going to feel it. So I would definitely say that was one mistake on your part here. Well, I mean, we could say it's an entire mistake of getting into a relationship with her in the first place, but definitely you said, it goes without saying, a girlfriend shouldn't do this. Well, absolutely. If she really loved you, really cared about you, which we both know she clearly doesn't, if this Anna really loved you, she would have never done what she did to you. So your mistake was you never communicated that you were unhappy with her hanging out with all of these guys. That's when you look at her, you sit her down, and you say, Anna, I'm not happy with this. I wouldn't just sit down and make female friends. It would be disrespectful and it would dishonor the relationship. As a woman, you should be associating and making friends with other like-minded feminine women. Because we're not kids anymore. We both know that men are only going to hang out with you because they like you. It's common sense. She knows that. You know that. And if you at least don't say that, you're going to get walked all over. Even though she's still going to go ahead and do it, at least have enough self-respect to sit down and stand up for your values. That's why you sit down and you tell her that. And I'm pretty sure, given the type of woman she is, she would have barked, no, he's just a friend, they're my friends now, right? And she would have carried on doing what she does. And that's when you get up and say, well, I'm not going to be with a woman that is going to have male friends and do this to me. I wish you all the best. And you get up and you leave. At least you walk away with your self-respect, with your dignity. Because when you want to say something to a woman and you don't say it, or anyone who crosses your boundaries, friend, family member, co-worker, I don't care. When anybody says or does something and they disrespect your boundaries and you sit there and don't say anything to them because to keep the peace, you weaken your character. If you really want to strengthen yourself as a man and become more confident, you simply have to do. Anytime anyone crosses a line, you let them know where it stands. And if they don't change their behavior immediately, that's it. Adios. That's what you got to do. Because you knew it was wrong what she was doing, but you never communicated you were unhappy with her. You guys cannot be afraid of, upsetting a woman at the expense of, oh, I don't want to lose her. You should be willing to lose her if she isn't going to cooperate with you and follow your lead and treat you with respect. You can't be afraid to stand up for yourself. Because guess what? If you can't stand up to your woman, how the hell are you going to stand up for yourself if you're in danger? If she's in danger? If your future children and family is in danger? Women know this. Strong men are going to stand up to everyone and anyone who crosses their line. Always. Something to think about. She never showed signs of remorse and began to establish a close bond with this guy. She would begin to text me less and less and would regularly spend time with him. So now she's swinging from your vine onto his. She's kind of testing it, see if it's stable enough, if it's secure enough to hold her weight. And there you have it. The guy who towed her car away. I mean, I've heard it all, and this one takes the cake. How many monkey punching videos have I done, guys? You guys let me know in the comments what you think of this one. So she began to text me less and less, would regularly spend time with him, establishing the connection until she was ready to break things off with me. If she was a good woman with integrity, if she were unhappy with you, or she felt you guys were incompatible, or her emotions just weren't there anymore, she'd sit you down and she'd tell you, I don't think this is working out. She'd break up, she'd be single, she'd cry, right? She'd talk to her girlfriends, she'd spend some time alone, she would recover, and when she's ready, she'd go out there and date again. But again, women like this that are narcissistic, that simply don't have the ability to form emotional bonds because they have unresolved childhood trauma and they've got that low self-esteem that comes with it. This is what they do. They're on to the next. They're looking for stability in an unhealthy way by rushing into relationships. And as we all know, anything that starts from a place of, or is created or is built up from a place of lying, manipulation, deception, unfaithfulness, doesn't stand the test of time. Anything worthwhile that has true value, that works out in the long term, is built on a foundation of truth, integrity, love, honesty. Look how your relationship started out on her end. Rushed right into it. She was sprinting to lock you down. But guess what? Whether this guy knows it or not, whether she told him that she had a boyfriend or not, she knows what she did. She knows she jumped from relationship to relationship. So guess what? When her needs aren't met with him, she will find another replacement. Whereas good women that are faithful simply don't do this. I didn't break up with her because I thought she just truly wanted to be friends with him. Come on, man. Come on, Jimmy, don't tell me that. The last weekend we spent together, she left my house early and said she was going to hang out with her new friends. So at this point, she's leading the relationship. Remember, guys, men lead, women follow. It is the masculine that dominates, and it's the feminine that willingly submits and allows the masculine to lead her on. Women that are naturally feminine, they want you to be the man in the relationship. They will be supportive, they will know their place, and they will encourage you to be in the leadership role. But right now that you can see the power dynamic is flipped. She can sense that he's unhappy with her decisions, but yet he still stayed. That lets her know, I can walk all over him. Now she's leading everything. Women want to feel like they're with a man that's strong. Women want to feel like you don't actually need her. You want her. You choose to be with her out of your free will. You're not with her out of desperation. You're not with her out of neediness. You're not with her because you feel like you can't do better. So even a woman like this who's emotionally damaged, who is not a good girl, even she can sense, he's not happy with me having all these male friends now, but he's still with me. And he hasn't even conveyed to me his unhappiness with my decision, how it's disrespectful to him. So at that point she knows he's weak. The last weekend, we spent together. She left my house early and she was going to hang out with her new friends. She's a good woman. She'd want to come home to you. Why would she need to form emotional ties with other men? There can never be a platonic relationship between a man and a woman. There's always going to be an element of sexual attraction. And how does an emotional attachment form? By spending time together. The more you spend time texting, talking, or in close proximity, the attachment forms. So if she's spending enough time around a man or other men, she's going to grow close to them. those seeds of unfaithfulness have already been planted on her end, and they're just going to grow. I wasn't happy about it and didn't communicate my dissatisfaction with it and just let her go. Again, you didn't stand up for yourself. You should have. She always texts me good night, and that night she did not. Well, definitely busy saying something else to someone else, right? The next morning I texted her, and it was like she was a completely different person. She never formally broke up with me. She took the coward's way out. When I asked her via text if I did something to upset her, she replied with, "It's nothing you did. I've just been very depressed lately, and I just need some time to figure things out." Once I read that, I knew, instead of going into no contact directly, I stupidly pressured her for answers and asked her to meet up so we could talk. When a woman says she wants space, she needs time to be alone, you just give it to her. At that point, the ball is in her court, and it's up to her to come back, reach out to you. You can't force that. Now, obviously, Jimmy, you know now that the reason why she was so depressed was because when she was out with her male friends, she was with Mr. Tow Truck, right? And she was building a bond with him. So she just needed to figure out if he was good enough for her. Because this time she didn't take 2 days to get to a relationship with him. She probably learned a lesson. Now she actually likes this guy, so she's spending more time to actually get to know if he's a good match for her or not. Even though he's a sucker. Because if he knows she had a boyfriend, he's a scumbag. And if he didn't know, he's going to find out eventually. Until then, he's getting played. So, she wanted space. She said basically, I need time to figure things out. I've just been depressed lately. That's when you say, great, if you are unhappy and there's things you're dealing with, text me, call me, knock on my door when you're ready to talk things out. That's it. A week after, I bought her flowers with an apology note. Dude, no simping over here. You give flowers to a girlfriend or a wife that's treating you well on special occasions. If a woman's showing you she's faithful, she's supportive, she's an asset to your life, okay? She's been a good woman to you. On a birthday, anniversary, or from time to time, maybe every 6 months, you can surprise her with something sweet like that, if she's been a giver. But in this case, you're unhappy with her. You have been for the last month or so, towards the end of the relationship, when she was with Mr. Tow Truck. She added the guy on Snapchat. She's hanging out with him and all his male friends. So she's actively disrespecting you and the relationship. Now she's saying she's depressed. And your smart idea is to give her flowers and an apology note. For what? What do you need to apologize for? And what do you need to apologize for? Nothing. She should be the one apologizing to you. Let her bring you some flowers and some chocolates. Right? She should be the one begging you on her knees. I made a mistake. I was talking to this guy and it's so wrong. I feel so bad for what I've done. Please forgive me. Please let me make it right to you. That's what she should be doing. But like you said, she wasn't remorseful. She went right ahead and did it. Basically, all the shit you're not supposed to do. At least you admit that to yourself. And you know what? That's a good thing. Because you have enough self-awareness and you're humble enough to admit to yourself that you made a few mistakes. And because of that, you can grow from it and learn. That's okay. I didn't handle the post-breakup well. I found out that she lined up this new guy because she posted a video on Snapchat saying, I'm with my boyfriend loving life with a heart emoji. Oh, isn't that sweet? This was the day after she left my house early. Oh yeah, she wanted to prepare herself to look all sweet for him. I stupidly texted her asking for answers once I saw this. I just felt completely blindsided by her decision. I never thought she was capable of doing this. I asked her why she never communicated her dissatisfaction with me or our relationship, and she told me she never communicates how she truly feels. Another red flag he puts. I love it. It's true. I thought to myself, good luck having a healthy relationship with no communication. Well, she's definitely not going to have a healthy relationship with him or any other man until she goes to therapy, does extreme self-care, and works on herself. If you think she's going to be with this guy for genuine motives, you're mistaken. The same reason she wasn't able to form an attachment with you is the same reason she won't be able to with him. Because she's self-centered, she's selfish. Because of the trauma she had in her childhood, she clearly became narcissistic, so the narcissism is her self-defense mechanism. She puts herself first to the point where she blocks anybody else out from ever getting close to her, from really building a bond with her. Because growing up with her adoptive parents, she clearly didn't have a good relationship with them. And that affected her to the point where she felt like she can't trust other people. And that's just the way it's going to play out until she gets help. And when the moment her needs aren't met, or she's unhappy, she's going to cheat on him the same way she did to you. Maybe this time she gets into a plane accident. And, it's someone else that comes in and she replaces him with that. You don't know. But guess what? She's not your problem anymore. And even though you're saying that you were blindsided by her decision, what did you say to me at the beginning, Jimmy? The very, very, very first thing you said in your email. These are the red flags that I chose to ignore. You saw them there. You knew there were things at the very beginning that raised some serious questions. That if you proceed, it's danger. You're just going to get hurt. That's why when you date, when you court men, be strong enough to put your values and your principles over your lust and your desire to be in a relationship. Because if she ain't right for you, if you don't choose a good woman, these are going to be the consequences. This can be the outcome. And sadly, a lot of men become bitter and angry towards women because they keep choosing trash women. Carrying on. We were together for 4 years and 3 months total. She was a virgin when I met her. She had no history of being promiscuous or looking at other guys in that way. She was loyal to me until this guy started showing her attention. I don't think a lot of guys have ever showed her much attention before this, so once a guy gave her that little bit of attention, she really enjoyed it. I was complacent at the end of the relationship, but I would cook her dinner and make sure she was comfortable and happy. She never cooked dinner for me. During COVID, our romantic relationship wasn't as strong as it should have been, but we still seemed close. While it's a good sign that she kept her purity of virginity, and she gave that to you, technically speaking, that would make her pair bond with you, because the release of that oxytocin and that dopamine, having that experience with you that is special, should have bonded her for life to you. But guess what? Since she's already emotionally damaged from her childhood and she's unhealed, that is what's preventing her to bond with you. Because there are some girls out there that are a virgin simply because they just haven't been with different men. They don't actually value it. They just don't go out, don't meet anyone. The first boyfriend they have, they settle, they give it to him. Doesn't mean they value it. Whereas a woman that truly appreciates her purity, she'll be vocal about it. She will say to you, I'm saving myself for a good man. This is important to me. I don't want to give my body out. And then that will follow with her actually testing you, taking her time slowly to get to know you, date you, which is what she didn't do. That tells you why. So if a woman says she's a virgin and she actually is, well then, and obviously in this case, as you said, when you met her, she was 23, she was young. Yes, I'm pretty sure that was true. given the fact that you were her first relationship. But this isn't a woman that valued her virginity or her purity, because she never had to have any father figure to sit down and tell her that it's special. So she couldn't pair bond. She never built an emotional bond with her father, with any male role model in her life. She could never build that with you. It's not your fault. She was this way before you met her, when you were with her, and now that she's gone. It's been 3 months since the breakup, and I've been taking time to reflect on what went wrong in the relationship and trying to better myself. I've been spending time with friends and family and focusing on my hobbies and career. That's very good. That's really going to help you recover. Getting back to enjoying your life as a single man, going through that grieving process, letting all those emotions come out, and seeing that your life can still go on. It's really good. While it's been very hard for me to get over the relationship, I wonder how it was so easy for her to jump in a new relationship overnight after 4 years together and everything we've been through, because in her mind that was all fake. She rushed in that relationship for 2 days. She never built an emotional bond with you. She's incapable of doing so. She just saw you as a good option she could utilize. She was narcissistic. She love bombed you. She rushed right in. She locked you down. She started extracting attention from you. That's why she wanted your time. And she probably had different moments where she considered betraying you. But as sick as it is, she decided to do it with a guy who tow trucked the car away after the car accident. That was her opportunity, in her mind, to line up someone else. The reason why it's hard for you to get over her is because you actually built an attachment with her. The reason why it's so easy for her to move on is because she never was there with you emotionally. The first week after the breakup, I would reach out to her regularly. We would exchange texts, and we even spent time together and ended with hugs and a couple kisses. That's another mistake. Why would you regularly reach out to someone that's betrayed you in the most disgusting, vile way possible? Unless you got kids, or you have to file the divorce paper, or perhaps some things that she left at your place that she needs to pick up. If there's none of that, why are you contacting her? You should be so disgusted by her behavior that you're just done. And then saying that you spent time together that ended in hugs and kisses, you would kiss her after she's had another. What do you think she's been doing with that guy? And you want to even touch her physically with your lips. About a month after I went into complete no contact, good, that's how you heal. But she would text me from time to time and I would respond. She claimed she wants to be friends. Well, remember, she wanted to be friends with him, right? This Anna. That's what she wanted to do. Anna wanted to be friends with Mr. Tow Truck. And now she wants to be friends with you, who she was in a relationship with. Clearly she doesn't want to be friends. She just wants to keep you as a break glass in case of emergency, in the off chance that the relationship with the new guy doesn't work out. She knows you have an emotional attachment to her, so she could come back and use you. Because you're a sweet guy and you still wanted to make it work. So she might try and take advantage of that again. All you got to do is block, delete, and burn that bridge. But I only wanted a romantic relationship with this girl. But after what she did, I won't be able to trust her ever again. And that's the truth of the matter. Now, that's why infidelity is so serious. You just really can't make it work. If someone betrayed you, they never loved you to begin with. Love is a choice. It's a choice to honor someone and care for them and treat them with dignity. It's a choice to be faithful. And when you actually value that, you do it naturally. You want to be faithful. It comes from your heart. So what she did to you was never a mistake or an accident. It was a decision. She made that choice. A month. Do you know what a mistake is? You trip and fall. You're clumsy and you drop something. That's a mistake. That's an accident. If your woman allows another man to get close to her, it's not the man's fault, it's her fault. Because if a guy sees a beautiful woman, he's going to make it, and he likes her, he's going to make an attempt to talk to her. If your woman is faithful and values you, if that guy hits on her in person, she's going to say, leave me alone, I've got a boyfriend, I'm not interested. She shuts that down right away. She holds the key to the door to let him in or close it from him entering. And it's no different on social media. If she's on Facebook, on Instagram, on Snapchat, if different men are hitting her up on her DMs and she's faithful, all she's going to do is show you the message, block and delete. But if you start to see her adding all these different men, suddenly starts talking to them, she's opened the door and allowed them in. That's her doing. So while this tow truck guy obviously liked her, if she was faithful, it would have never gone any further than him attempting to hit on her and her shutting him down. Think about it. If you're a man watching and you're faithful, you're not going to let no woman get close to you if you're in a relationship. And if a woman is allowed to get your phone number and start talking to you, it's because you want her to. It's common sense. And that's why you can't trust her again, because she showed you through her actions who she really is. She showed her true colours in the end. Forgive her, but you don't ever forget what she did. Let it serve as a reminder of an example to you as what you should be looking for moving forward in your life from a woman. What you're never going to ever tolerate again. Increase your standards. Said, I continue to have conversations with her mum regularly, and she always mentions that I hope we can get back together and that the new boyfriend is a huge downgrade and she doesn't see it working out. Please just change my name if you decide to share this on the channel. I appreciate all the content you put out. I wish I caught your channel when I stayed in the relationship. I will continue to better myself and grow from this. Cheers. Well, you're more than welcome, Jimmy. And here's what I will definitely say. Your situation could have been worse. You could have been married and had kids with her. You'd be forced to stay in contact with her, but you don't have to. You're not paying child support, and you don't have to go through that divorce. You can take your time to heal, start fresh, and choose a much better woman with the knowledge you know now. Because you're a good guy, but you need a good feminine woman that's going to appreciate the masculine traits in you. It's that simple. And, let your problems be used as an opportunity for you to grow. Because problems are a sign of life. If there's something you're struggling with, you're dealing with, something painful like this, you can turn this suffering into something great. You can let this mold you and shape you into a much better, sharper man than before. Look at the edges where you were a little bit blunt. You didn't stand up for yourself. There were a few things that you wanted to say, but you bit your tongue. Now you know. Be stronger next time. Stand up for yourself. Let your boundaries be known to a woman. Set the tone from the beginning. You lead. Ask quality questions at the beginning before you become emotionally attached to a woman. Right? Then it's easier to walk away earlier on if the compatibility is not there. Right? That's all you got to do. So with that said, this is a perfect example why monkey wrenching is evil. She lined up a replacement and swung and was swinging from one branch onto another in the most despicable way. The guy who towed her truck away after a car accident. I've seen it all now. So guys, that's the video for today. If you enjoyed it, by all means, give it a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I post weekly. And for anybody who's interested in booking a coaching call or would like to share the situation with me privately, the email's down in the description. You can send me an email just like Jimmy. I always get back to everybody. And with that said, thank you all for the love and support. For all my long-term subscribers, you mean the world to me. And if you guys have any of the video suggestions or anything else you'd like to discuss, write it down below in the comment section. God bless all of you. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.